Hello everyone. So in this session we will discuss isometric projection problems. That is problem number 2 I have considered. The question is, a hemisphere of 40 mm diameter is supported coaxially on the vertex of a cone of base diameter 60 mm and axis length 50 mm. The flat circular face of the hemisphere is facing upside. Draw the isometric projection of combination of solids. He is asking us to draw the isometric projection of the combination of solids. We have to combine the two solids and we have to draw the isometric projection. Okay, so that is the question that they have given. So whenever a question is being posed to you, so we have to identify the number of solids. So how many solids that they have given in order to draw the isometric projection. So isometric projection, so it means that we are drawing the pictorial representation of the object in 3D form. Okay, so that is about the introduction, so that we have to discuss in the introduction part. We have discussed already. So now coming back to this question, so we are having the two solids here. So first and foremost thing is the hemisphere. So that is one solid that we are having, and the other solid, if I just go through the question, I'll get the cone. So one is the hemisphere and the other one is cone. So the number of solids are 2, and among these two solids, so which is the base solid we have to identify. So hemisphere is supported coaxially on the vertex of a cone. So if I just read this sentence, we will understand that the base object is the cone. So we are having a cone at the base. On top of that we are having the hemisphere. How they are supported on one another? They are supported coaxially. It means that the axis of the hemisphere and the axis of the cone should get coincide. Okay, so that should become a collinear. And the dimensions of these two solids that we have considered. So I'll just show that. So the number of solids that I have taken is 2, and solid names are hemisphere and the cone. So among those two solids, we have considered the base solid as the cone. Okay, and so if I say the hemisphere, so we must have the imagination of the hemisphere. So how does it look like? So this is how it looks like. So in the 3D form, the pictorial representation I have considered. And if I say the cone, so this is the cone that we have to consider. So we have to place this hemisphere on top of a cone. So how to place? So the axis of this hemisphere and the axis of the cone should get coincide. So that should become coaxial. So means the axis of the hemisphere and the axis of the cone should become parallel to each other. Okay, I say it as a collinear. So now there are two possibilities of placing this hemisphere on top of a cone. So I have drawn those two possibilities here. So this is the first one and the other one is the second one. So if I just see these two possibilities, so here the axis of the cone and hemisphere is coinciding, so that satisfies the condition. And here also the axis of the hemisphere and the axis of the cone, so they are collinear or coaxial, I say. So this is also in the second possibility also the condition is satisfying. But which among these two is right? So how to identify is, so we have to go through the another condition. The flat circular face of the hemisphere is facing upside. So when I say the hemisphere, so this is the hemisphere that we are having. If we cut the ball exactly at the center, so with the help of the cutting plane, so we will get the object like this. So in this case, so we are having the flat circular face. The above surface, so we call it as flat circular face, and this base we are having downwards, we are having it as a curved surface. So in the question what is telling, this flat circular face should face upside. Okay, so now if I consider these two possibilities, in the first condition, in the first possibility, so we are having this flat circular face which is upside, it is facing upside. If we consider the second condition, so the flat circular face is facing downside. Okay, so it means that second possibility is wrong. So now we have got an idea that, so the isometric projection, it looks like this. So what about its front view and top view? So if I see this solid from the top, okay, so we can see the flat circular face of the hemisphere as well as the base of the cone. So two circles we will see. So if you see it from the front, how does it look like? So it looks like a triangle from the front, this base solid. So and this portion is visible, that is the curved surface, and top surface it looks like a line. Okay, that is what the front and top views. So let me draw that first. So in order to draw the top and front views, what we need to do is, so we need to consider the XY line. So with respect to this xy line, I have considered the xy line already. So with respect to this xy line, we are taking the first angle of projection. So hence you take VP above the xy line and HP below the xy line. So once after taking that, so we have to consider the exact sizes of the solids. So the first solid is cone, the base solid is cone. What is the base diameter of the cone? So here he has given it as 60 mm. And the axis length also he has given. Axis length is nothing but the height of the cone. The other dimensions are the hemisphere. So for hemisphere we are having the dimensions is the diameter of the hemisphere he has given it as 40 mm. Okay. So now, so if I consider the top view, I can see the flat circular face of the hemisphere and the base diameter of the cone. So the base diameter of the cone is 60 mm and the the diameter of the hemisphere is 40 mm. So I need to draw two circles now. So with the help of a compass, you take compass and you measure the starting, that is the base of the cone. You take the diameter is 60 mm, means the radius will be 30 mm. So you consider any one point on HP and you draw the circle. That I have drawn it already. Okay, that should be drawn as thick line that is visible. That circle is visible from the top. So this is the base diameter of the cone that is visible from the top view. Okay, so now if I consider the another solid, that is the hemisphere, what is the size of the hemisphere he has given? 40 mm. So it means the radius I need to take it as 20 mm. With the help of the compass, you place the needle leg of your compass exactly at the same reference point, because two solids are collinear here, that is coaxial, and you draw the circle of diameter 40 mm. So that will be equals to the diameter of the hemisphere. So this is the top view that we will get. So once after obtaining the top view, we need to take the projections. So take the projections like this with respect to the first diameter, first circle. So now with respect to the first circle, I'll get the base of the cone in the front view, that is here. So this is the base of the cone. So what is the height of the cone? How much he has given? He has given it as 50 mm axis length. So now through this center point, what we have considered already to draw the circle, with respect to that you take 50 mm point. So that is the height of the cone that we have considered. And this is a generator. So strictly speaking, there will not be any edges, that is the slant edges for the cone. So this is the generator that I'll get. So in the front view, it looks like a triangle. Okay. So now this is the front view of a cone. The height we have considered it as 50. So this height he has given it as 50 mm. Okay. So now with respect to this vertex of a cone, that is the apex point, so how much distance we need to consider in order to draw this curved surface of the hemisphere is, so we have to take, since it is a hemisphere, we have to take the half of the diameter, that is 20 mm. So with the help of the scale, so you place your scale along the axis line and you mark 20 mm point. So with respect to this point, so I need to consider the 20 mm radius that you take with the help of their compass. So now you place your compass at this topmost corner and you draw the curved portion. Okay, from here you draw the other side. So this curved surface is visible from the front. This is the curved surface of the hemisphere. So and what about this flat circular face? So that will not be visible. So that should be drawn as, so it looks like a horizontal line. So this is about the flat circular face. Okay. So how much distance we have taken, that I forgot to tell. So we have to take the 40 mm. So with this point as the center, so you take 20 on either side. So this way we can do. Otherwise you take the projections from this inside circle. So take the projections. So I have taken that. So from this point again you take the projections. So now, so to these two end points, so we'll give you the diameter of the hemisphere. Okay, so this is about the front and top views. So this is 50 mm and the radius of the hemisphere is how much? That is 20 mm. So this is the front and top views of the combination of solids. So here the diameters are the diameter of the cone, the base diameter of the cone is 60 mm, and you extend this, so I can write the dimension here itself. So the diameter of the hemisphere is how much? 40 mm. So this is dia 40. Okay, here I'll write this as dia 60. So this is about the front and top views. So now let me draw the isometric view. So we are considering the isometric view, but in the question is asking us to draw the isometric projection. So remember one thing, isometric view is different and isometric projection is different. So isometric view is the one, so we will consider the full scale in order to draw the projections. Okay, but if you consider the isometric projection, we have to reduce the scale of the objects and we have to draw the views. Okay, so now I have told you that isometric view means we have to consider the scales what they have given in the question. So isometric projection means we have to convert that to iso scale. With the help of the iso scale values, we have to draw the projections of the object. Okay, so now in order to construct the isometric view, so isometric view can be drawn in the normal sheet. So how to do that is, so first I'll consider the horizontal line. Take one horizontal line. So with respect to this horizontal line, so in case of isometric view, I need to take the angles as 30 degrees with respect to that baseline. You take 30 degrees. Why we are taking this 30 degrees is because, so in between these two lines I need the angle as 120 degrees. So why do we need it as 120 degrees? Because if I rotate the object equally with respect to one point, so we will get 120 degrees. So let me explain that first. So if I consider the solid, so I'll take the solid here. So this is the solid that I am having, so that is a cube. Okay, so without rotation, so if I take without rotating, if I directly consider, this will be the top view and this will be your front view. Okay, so now if I tilt this object slightly towards your side, that is towards the observer, so what happens? So this will be the point of viewing. So with respect to this point, I'll consider the imaginary axis. So with respect to this point, so at a single point I'll be having the total angle as 360 degrees. But if I tilt it equally, what happens? So I'll be having the three edges. So these three edges will make equal angles, so that if it makes equal angles, so those angles I call it as alpha, beta and gamma. So if alpha is beta is equals to gamma, so total angle at a point will be equals to 360 we are having. So if all the angles are equally tilted, we should take it as 360 by 3. So then I'll get it as 120 degrees. So that is why we will consider this angle between two lines as 120 degrees. If I need to obtain the angle between these two lines as 120 degrees, so we have to consider 30 angles with respect to the base, because so this will form a complete line. So the angle of a line, horizontal line, will be equals to 180 degrees. So inside I need 120. So hence I should take that 180 minus 120. So that will be 60 degrees. So that 60 we have to divide it on either sides. So 60 by 2 if you do, so you will get it as 30. So hence we will get it as 30 degrees and 30 degrees here. That is the reason behind this. Okay. So now after taking two 30 degree lines, so we have to consider, we have to draw the base diameter of the cone. Okay, so if I consider the base diameter of the cone, so base of the cone is a circle in the normal view. But so what happens to its isometric view of the circle? So isometric view of the circle looks like an ellipse. The base diameter of the cone, so he has given it as 60 mm, and the shape of the base of the cone is a circle. Okay, so I'll consider the circle now. So this is in the normal view. Okay, if you observe the shadow of this object in the normal view, it looks like a circle. Okay, so you can see that here in the normal view it looks like a circle, but if I slowly tilt this object, the shape of the circle, it becomes an ellipse. So what I want to say is, in the isometric view, the shape of the circle, so it becomes an ellipse. Okay, the isometric view of a circle looks like an ellipse in the isometric projection. So we need to draw the ellipse now. So in order to draw the base diameter of the cone, so first let us discuss the methods of drawing an ellipse. So if I consider the isometric view of a circle, so I have told you that the isometric view of a circle looks like an ellipse. So we are having the two methods. So which are those two methods? One method is the method of points. So that is the exact method. So that method is very difficult. So the other method is the 4 center method. So this is the approximate method and it will be easy for the construction. So we will always prefer this 4 center method. Okay, so now let me show how to construct an ellipse with the help of this method, that is the 4 center method. So what is the procedure is, if I consider the question like this, so draw the isometric view. So draw iso view of a circle of diameter, so diameter 50 mm. So if the question is given like this, so what we will do is, so we will consider one baseline. So with respect to this base, so I will consider one point. With respect to this point, so with the help of the protractor I have taken two 30-degree lines. Okay, on these two 30-degree lines I have considered the size, so that is 50 mm. So this size will be equals to the diameter of the circle. So whatever the diameter that they will give, so if consider that much size. So this side is 50, so this side is 50, and this side is 50, and this side is also 50. All the 4 sides, so we have to consider it as the size of the diameter. So whatever the size of the circle that they have given. Okay, so once after drawing this 50 square, so the isometric view of the square, it looks like a rhombus in the isometric view. So once after obtaining all these 4 edges, so let me take the diagonal line first. So let me draw the diagonal. So this is the one diagonal, and the other diagonal is your vertical diagonal. So this is the another diagonal. So diagonal is a line drawn between two opposite corners. So we have drawn the 2 diagonals for this rhombus. So once after drawing the diagonals, so we will get the center point of the cross section. So now what we should do is, so we have to consider this, the point of view. So with respect to this point, we will be having the 2 opposite edges. We need to consider the midpoint of these 2 opposite sides, the opposite edges. So total length is 50 mm. So this is 50 and this side is also 50. We have to take the half of that. So that is equals to 25. So take 25 mm here. Okay, and again in the other opposite side, so there also you take 25 mm. So in this we are just showing how to draw the ellipse. So once after marking the midpoints of the opposite sides with respect to this corner, so I will join them with the help of a thin line. You draw a line like this. Okay, so now, so in the same way we can draw the another 2 lines with respect to this corner. For this corner, which are the 2 opposite side? So this is the one edge, that is one side, and this is the other side. I have taken the midpoints. So again we need to join these 2 with the help of a lines. This corner with respect to the one side, and this is the other side that I will consider. So now we have considered the 4 points. So that is why we call it as 4 center method. So now after drawing these lines, what we need to do is, so with the help of the compass, so take the compass, you place one leg, that is the needle leg of your compass at the starting point, that is your weaving point. So and you take the dimensions to the opposite side midpoint. So take this dimension and you cut an arc to the other side, other edge. With the same dimension, you change your position of the compass, you place your leg here, leg of the compass, and you cut one more arc. These are the two major arcs of the ellipse. Okay, so now you place the needle leg of your compass at this intersection of the two lines, and you take the dimension to this midpoint and you cut an arc. These are the minor arcs of the ellipse. So in the same way, with the same dimension, you place your compass and you cut the another arc. So it will touch exactly to the center point. So this is how we need to construct an ellipse. So this will give the minor axis. So this is how we need to construct an ellipse. So now let us apply the same procedure. So in our problem, so the base diameter of the cone is how much? 60 mm. So hence I should take the 60 box now. So on this 30 degree line I have marked 60 degree point, and one more 60 degree point is here. Okay, so now with respect to those 2 points, I'll obtain the fourth corner of that square, so which looks like a rhombus in the isometric view. This is one point and this is the another side of the rhombus that I have considered. So once after obtaining this 60 box, what I should do is, so first and foremost thing, I'll draw the diagonal. So I'll draw the diagonal, that is the horizontal diagonal I will consider. So once after constructing this diagonal, so what I'll do is, so for this 60 side, I'll consider the midpoint. So I'll consider the midpoint. So I am having totally 60, total length is 60, half of 60 is 30. At 30 I have marked 1 point. So similarly on the other side I am having 60 again, so that is 30. So half of that 60 is 30. So now with this weaving point, with this reference point, what I'll do is I'll draw a lines passing through the midpoint of the opposite side to this weaving point. So similarly with respect to the other side, opposite side, I'll draw one more line. Okay, so these two lines are sufficient now in order to construct an ellipse. So how to construct an ellipse? So just now we have discussed that. So you take your compass, you place at this position and you take this distance and you cut an arc. So this is one arc, major arc that you will get. With the same dimension, so change the position of the needle of your compass and you construct the another major arc of the ellipse. So this is the another major arc that you will get. So now how to cut the minor arcs is, so take the distance now from the intersection of this median line as well as this diagonal. So take the distance to this midpoint and you've cut an arc. So this is one minor axis. So this is the minor arc. So this is the another minor arc that you will get. Okay, so now I have got the base diameter of the cone. So we need to consider the size of the box that is equals to the diameter of the circle what they have given. So the base diameter is 60 mm. So hence I have considered 60 and I drew the ellipse. So once after completion of this, so we have to take the height of the ellipse. So we have done here till here. So from this point to this point, what is the distance? The height of the cone or the axis length of the cone, he has given it as 50 mm. So now with this center point, so I'll consider the height. So since we are constructing the isometric view, so I'll take the actual scales. Okay, you take 50 mm and you mark the point. So this is the axis of the cone that I'll consider. With respect to this vertex of the cone, that is the apex of a cone, so we will draw two generators. The generators has to be drawn as a tangent line. So a line from the apex point to the tangent of this arc. So that should be a tangent. You should not join to this intersection points. So whatever the line that you draw, that line should never go inside the solid, that is the base of a cone. So this is the generator. So we are done with the cone part now. So now let us go to the hemisphere. So how it is supported? It is supported coaxially. We have to continue this axis above. Okay. So now in order to draw the hemisphere, so we should understand that we are having the flat circular face. So flat circular face is there, that should face upside. It means that, so this is the portion of the hemisphere. So we are having this portion at the bottom. So from bottom to this center point of this hemisphere, so what is the distance that we will be having? So we will be having the distance that is the half of the diameter of the hemisphere. So hemi means half, so we have to consider the radial distance. So from where to where? From this, the apex of a cone, to the center point of the hemisphere. So what will be the distance? The radius distance. So how much it is? The diameter of the hemisphere is 40, means we have to take the half of that. So that will be equals to 20 mm. So you mark one point here. Okay, so this is the axis of the hemisphere. So with respect to this axis, okay, so what type of shape that we will get? So we know that the flat circular face is facing upside. It means that circular face we are having. So again the circle in the isometric view, it looks like an ellipse. We need to construct an ellipse here. So what is the size of the ellipse? We need to take 40. Okay, it means that in order to construct an ellipse of 40 size, so we have to draw the box, okay, in the rhombus shape. So that box size should be equals to 40 mm. So now what I'll do is, so how to construct an ellipse here is, so we have got the center point of the hemisphere. So around this center point of the hemisphere, we have to construct a box of size, so that is equals to 40 mm. That is the diameter that they have given. So how to construct a box of size 40? So we have to take the lines, so parallel with respect to the base, and you extend that line. So that line should pass through this center point of the hemisphere. So I'll take this line. So this is the parallel line that I'll consider here, like this. So next is, so one more side that I'll consider is, so the other side, so other 30 degree line I'll consider. So with respect to this 30 degree line, what I'll do is, I'll take the parallel line. So take the parallel line passing through the center point of the hemisphere. So this is the another line that I'll get. Okay, so on these two lines, so we have to obtain total size is 40, means I have to take half above and half below. So that is 20 mm above and 20 mm below. So likewise we have to take 20 mm towards left side and 20 mm towards right side. Okay, so with the help of the scale, so we are considering the actual scales here. So with this point as 20, so I have considered this point to this point, that is 20 mm. So now with this, by considering the another line with the center point of the hemisphere as a reference, you take 20 above and 20 below. So like in this way we have got 4 corners. Now with respect to those 4 corners, what we will do is, so I will take this reference line, this as my reference line. So take parallel projection, parallel line with respect to that reference. So this is one line that we will get, and this is the second line if you extend the parallel lines opposite side. So the two edges of the box that I have got. Next is, I am having this line with respect to this line which is passing through the center point of the axis. You roll down slowly downwards, so you'll get one more parallel line. So now, so you just take the scale above and you draw one more parallel line passing through this center point. So in this way I'll get the 40 size box. So again inside this 40 size box we need to construct an ellipse. The procedure remains same now. So first what we need to do, we need to draw the diagonals. So draw the diagonals. So once after drawing the diagonal, So next part is, so we need to draw the medians. So from this reference point we have to consider the midpoint of the opposite sides. Already we are having the midpoints, so you draw a thin lines. Whenever you do the isometric projection, so you do everything with thin lines first. Okay, after drawing these two lines, that is, you place your compass at this reference point, take this distance and you cut the arc. Okay, so now with the same dimension you change the position of the compass to the opposite corner and you've cut one more arc here like this. So these are the two major arcs that I'll get. So how to cut the minor arcs? So we have to consider the intersection of the diagonal as well as this median that I have considered. So and you take the dimension, so with respect to that dimension you cut the minor arcs of an ellipse. So this is the 4 position method that we have considered. So this is the method. So we have constructed an ellipse. So this is the flat circular face. This face is the flat circular face. Okay, so now what I should do? So one thing is that is remaining is the curved surface, this portion. So it is a sphere surface. So curved surface, this is a sphere surface. So we know that the spherical surface so looks like, so will appear like a actual radius, means it appears with the actual size. So what we should do is, so we know that the size of the hemisphere is 40 mm. So in order to draw that curved surface, what we need to do is take the distance of radius, that is 20 mm, place your compass at this point, that is the center point. So if I take this, so we will not get the position to draw the curved surface. So what we will do is, so we need to take the spherical scale here. So that will be equals to 11/9, that is the conversion factor. If you do that, so you will get this position. So that is not required to you. So you take the position of this end point of the minor arc. So place your compass at the center point of this hemisphere and take the distance to this arc, minor arcs of the hemisphere, and you've cut an arc. Hold it tightly and you've cut an arc like this. So it will intersect the other side. So like this. So now we have completed the hemisphere. So which are all the lines visible to you? So those lines you need to draw it as dark lines. So if I see this object